Hello and welcome to Miss Charlotte Astrology. I'm Miss Charlotte, a full-time working astrologer, and on this channel I analyze the astrological charts of public figures, and very often they are celebrities, and that is certainly the case today, as I'll be analyzing the Synastry chart of a brand new it couple, I guess, Selena Gomez and her new beau, Benny Blanco, who is a music producer. I know very little about Selena Gomez. I know a bit, like it's not a total blind reading. I'm familiar with who she is. I wouldn't say I'm a stan or a fan. I think she's a sweet girl who's very troubled. And I know that she is a pop star and she's a better actress than she is a pop star. That's my personal opinion, but I do like her. She's had a troubled life in the entertainment industry, and I am one of those people that I root for her a lot, but the girl is troubled. She is. And obviously that has a lot to do with her not just being in the industry, but her love life, with the Justin Bieber thing, and she's been single for a while, so I guess it's no surprise that she's worked on herself and now she's in a relationship. I like that for her. He's actually my age, Benny Blanco. He was born a few weeks before me. So I have a couple of his placements. I have his Venus and his Mars. So yeah, it should be interesting to see their synastry. This is going to be fun. But before I dive into their charts, I just want you guys to know that I do offer personalized readings. I do Zoom appointments and I do recorded readings that do not require an appointment. So if you would like me to tear up your chart, your personal astrological chart, or maybe potentially do a synastry, I offer those services for both my appointments and for my 20-minute recorded readings. Okay, so thank you so much. That was the word from our sponsor. Me. Let's dive in and have a look at this Synastry. I don't know much about Benny Blanco. I know he's a music producer and he's worked with her ex Justin Bieber, and apparently he spoke poorly of her a couple of years ago during the pandemic. He said something about how she was a cookie cutter pop star, but he didn't directly refer to her, but it was alluded to, that's for sure. This is their Synastry chart. I don't think they're bad people, not at all. I'm seeing some things. I can see the connection. Okay, let's start. I don't have his birth time, by the way. I don't have Benny Blanco's birth time. It would help me a lot if I did, but I'm going to do the best I can here. So let's zoom in to her fourth house. So this is the IC. This marks out the fourth house of the house and the home and the domestic sphere for Selena. This is where she rests her head at night. He has his moon here, which is actually a very good synastry. Anytime someone has personal placements in your fourth house of home, they are going to feel like family straight away. It's going to feel very comfortable to be with them. So I actually like this moon in the fourth house. I am wondering what house this is in for him. That would tell me a bit more. But with his moon here, she feels that she can trust him, she can be comfortable with him, she can be messy with him. Like I saw that he posted something about her, she's farting under the blankets or something, and she left a note for him saying, "Oh, it's a bit much." It's a bit much. Maybe he enjoys that. I don't know. But I think he also has some emotional issues of his own, like a Moon and Pluto conjunction does point to a very intense relationship with the mother or the family, and it's very squared off, and it is in the opposite sign as his Venus. So even though, his Venus is in Taurus, which is a nice Venus to have, and it's not in a direct opposition with the Moon, but they are in opposing signs. So that tells me that his value system and what he's attracted to isn't necessarily in line for what in alignment with what is emotionally good for him. So just because and vice versa, just because someone makes him comfortable or he feels very familiar to someone, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to be attracted to them. And that's the war that he has to fight with himself. Like he often might fall in love with someone that isn't necessarily good for him. And her Pluto falls on his moon. They both have Pluto and Scorpio. It's a generational placement, so I don't think it's that big a deal because everyone born between like the early 80s to the mid 90s, we all have this, but it's the personal placement of the moon that I'm concerned about. So there might be an obsession here. They are both here to end family cycles. I'm not sure what his story is, but with her Pluto in the 4th house, like she is meant to end the family cycle of poverty potentially. There's a lot of things in her family. I don't know exactly her story, but poverty, drugs, crime, things like that, mental illness, that when you have Pluto in the 4th house, you are destined to end family cycles. And a lot of those family cycles are around the things I just mentioned. Not easy. Does she have family that went to prison or are criminals? I'm just wondering. There's a lot of difficulty here. And her moon is at the top of her chart. Why is her moon in the 9th house? Did she move around a lot as a kid? Like, was she uprooted a lot? Because people with their moons in the 9th house, they often end up living overseas. I wouldn't be surprised if she chucks a Tina Turner and she decides to go move to Switzerland or something. You know what I mean? Because she is a 9th house moon. And the moon is nowhere near the bottom of her chart. She seeks intimacy in public places. Like, she's very raw with her following. She has a lot of... sometimes she's a PR nightmare. Lovely girl, but almost too raw. She's not like her best friend Taylor Swift, where she's very careful with her image. This girl blows it a lot of the time, with her behavior on the internet. But yeah, moon at the top of the chart, nowhere near the bottom, not aspecting the bottom. It's almost like she's trying to run away from her family stuff. I will tell you this. It's nice that he has his moon in her 4th house, so she can be vulnerable with him. That's a good thing. There are some difficult aspects, but overall, it's nice. They might have a certain understanding about family and the difficulties with family, because Pluto's in her moon house, the 4th house, and he has the moon in a conjunction with Pluto. So that's a similarity. She is an Aries moon in a late degree. I think it's at the 20-something degree, 21, 22 something. But it is in a conjunction with this Jupiter, which is beautiful. So Jupiter's expansion, Jupiter is luck, Jupiter's like husband and marriage. And it sits almost exactly on her midheaven. I think her midheaven's at 1 or 0 degree Taurus. It's a Taurus midheaven from memory. Being with him is going to be good for her career. Being associated with him is going to be good for her career. Working with him is going to be good for her career. I don't know what his rep is, but when someone's Jupiter sits on your midheaven, they make you look honorable. They make you look honest. They make you look glorious. Being in association with him, if he is truly a great producer and a great artist, is going to make her look great professionally maybe, I don't know how it is with the rest of the world. I mean, if she were to work with him, they'd probably make beautiful music together if they haven't already. I think they have. They have worked together, haven't they? But at least within the industry, if she's seen with someone like him with this Jupiter placement, she's going to get a lot of respect. His Venus also sits on her midheaven. Again, Venus governs not just love and relationships, it governs money and abundance. So these are two very abundant, happy, benefic planets on her midheaven of reputation and career. It's very good for her. And with the conjunction, it's sort of a conjunction with the moon. I know it's an out of sign conjunction, but it is a conjunction. He can make her feel, again, another placement that makes her feel comfortable, maybe in terms of music and art and it's just a nice placement. It's very warm, it's very friendly. When someone has a planet that sits on your Jupiter, they give you wifey or husband energy. So that is definitely there. And her Mars is in Taurus, and when the Mars is in a conjunction with Venus, which it's not here, but it's in the same sign, it's a nice sexual attraction. Like Mars and Venus in the same sign. I believe Travis and Taylor have that. Theirs is an exact conjunction. So they're making love, hot love, messy love. For these two, similar. It's not, they're not close together, but they're in the same sign. I think there definitely is some kind of like sexual attraction, sexual bond, romantic bond forming here. So that's nice. The thing I have trouble with, let's move down. Look at this Venus. Okay, let's move outwards. Do you see Selena's Venus? Venus is beauty, Venus is love, Venus is values and your self-worth. It lies in Leo. That's some drama love, man. Venus and Leos don't listen. You guys don't like a boring. You get bored real quickly. They're very idealistic in love and they can be incredibly loyal because it is a fixed sign. But they're fire. They always need to be fed. It can be a very insecure Venus because they need to be worshipped. That's why I always tell Venus and Leos, be in love with someone that loves you just a teensy bit more because they're going to be like, I give the same advice to Venus and Scorpio. Venus and Leo, Venus and Scorpio, be with someone that cannot live without you, that loves you just a scotch, just 1%, a little bit more, because you're insecure. You always need to be fed. You always need to, it's just, she's needy. And she has her Venus in a conjunction with Chiron, so you know she's insecure about her physical appearance. She's insecure about her self-worth and her talent and everything. And it's on her ascendant. So while she's incredibly beautiful, she is, and I think sometimes she knows it, she's still got a lot of self-worth problems. Like, is this all I am? Am I just a pretty face? Am I just a pretty body? And certainly being sick and having her weight fluctuate has hurt her immensely. Like, it's bad enough she was already insecure about the way she looks, and her weight is now fluctuating. Her health is fluctuating. Mercury's in retrograde. Mercury governs the mind and the body. Mental health issues in a conjunction with Venus, her self-worth. All of this is connected. Her health issues and her physical health, mental health, sense of worth, the way she perceives herself in terms of her physical appearance. Like, it is all there on her ascendant, on her face. She needs to be told that she's worthy. She needs to be told she's beautiful. She has a lot of trouble. And look at all the red lines. Squared Pluto. The stuff that happened in her home really messed with her sense of self, or her self-esteem and the way she perceives herself. Pluto in the 4th house of the home and the family, the traumas around the home and the family, the abandonment is at war or is negatively impacting her sense of self-worth, her ability to perceive things properly. People with mental health issues, they misread things when they're in a spiral. Like, it is very difficult. And then all these placements are not really aspecting. Move up. They're not really aspecting his Venus. Look, do you see any blue lines from her Venus to his Venus in Taurus? I have a Venus in Taurus as well because I was born 3 weeks after he was. It's a very secure Venus. It might be a boring Venus. We don't like to mess around. Like, we are people that want to, like, we get married real quick. If you make a commitment to me, we're buying a house. Like, they're very, like, we move very slowly if we're unsure, but once we know, we're very quick. Like, it's a very secure Venus sign. It just depends on, like, if it's retrograde, if there's squares, if there's opposition. Like, there are other things that are involved, but Venus in Taurus is incredibly stable. Venus in Leo? Fire? I hope he has enough wood to throw on that fire. I hope he'll always be he always needs to make her feel secure. And she, with this Venus and this Chiron and this Mercury, this is paranoia. Does he love me? Does he like me? What if he finds someone else, someone who's better than me, someone who's like smarter, or someone who's more beautiful, or someone that isn't as crazy as me, or someone who just has a better family, or someone that's like, she is so in her head, in her retrograde Mercury head. She's so in her, and she ruins things. I can see her being quite self-destructive in love because it's about, like, this Chiron, it's love for the self that she's lacking. And Chiron on the ascendant is someone she's beautiful and she knows she is, but she's incredibly, like, worried about the way she looks. And her sense of self-worth, because since she was a child, she's been a performer. The way she looks is so important. That's very tied to that sense of self. Yeah, poor thing. And I love Cancers. You guys are lovely. You are my 8th house. I have an interception with Cancer. You guys make me feel things that I don't want to feel, but I have to feel. So I love you guys. But sometimes you're messy. Sometimes they're so messy and they're so needy. And I'm an Aries, by the way. So I'm just like, fuck everyone. You know, like, I'm not as caring as you guys. I'm kind of psycho. Cancers are incredibly loving, but they're very good at playing victim. And you know what other sign's really good at playing victim? Pisces. And Pisces is the 12th house. Pisces is associated with the 12th house. So her Cancer sun in the 12th house of secret enemies and delusion heaven and hell and God and she's incredibly spiritual. I think spirituality is very important to her. Is she religious? I don't know, but she does seem to me like someone who really needs God, really needs spirituality, really loves like crystals and stuff. Like, I don't know, maybe she doesn't, but she's someone that would appeal to. She's that type of person. But she knows how to be a victim. She really does. Pisces suns, Cancer suns, 12th house suns, they are perfect victims, and sometimes they're their own victims. And they can be incredibly messy. And I say that with love, okay? I say I'm a 12th houser. I've got a planet in the 12th house too, and it sucks. I can feel pretty sorry for myself. I get it. But yeah, 12th house suns, she's always going to I don't want to put that out there. She's always going to feel like a victim, but she very often does feel like a victim. Her sun also squares her midheaven. The whole world sees. That's why she's quiet about her mess, because her midheaven is in Taurus and her sun squares it. She can disgrace herself with messy behavior. If people find out she's lying, if she's done dirty business, if she's not open and honest about things and she hides like a little Cancer crab, people are going to be like, what? People are going to look at her and be like, why aren't you honest? Why don't you speak up? Say something about this political issue or that political issue. Speak, So, I'm not saying she should, but she can do what she wants, but it doesn't look good that she talks about, mental health and all these wholesome things when her life hasn't been that way, while she's been incredibly raw and real with her fans about her struggles, because the moon is very vulnerable when it comes to taking a stance on things. She doesn't really do that. She doesn't, because it means that she might have to be a villain in some narrative that she doesn't want written about her. Oh my God. My computer is getting low. Okay. Let's talk about their synastry. I feel like we've talked a lot about her. He has his Mercury on her Saturn. If someone has a personal planet on your Saturn placement, they are going to talk about things that you need to learn. They're going to bring out potentially your daddy issues. Saturn represents the father. Saturn represents structures. And he actually, it's not a bad placement. I feel like he's someone who would point out things that she needs to learn. Her descendant lies in Aquarius. So she's attracted to Aquarius energy. However, having Saturn here means that she has a lot of karma and difficulty around partnership. Now, Aquarius sun, I think she would be attracted to an Aquarius sun, but having someone's sun beating down on your Saturn, it's a very volatile energy, because it's like a bright light shining on a very ugly part of your life. Like, it's not easy to look at. But if someone can speak softly to you about the things that you need to learn, that's a nice placement. It's not necessarily well aspected though. I think there are a lot of things about herself he's going to tell her, and she might not be able to take that, because in her mind, and keep in mind, her Mercury is in the opposite sign. Her Mercury is in Leo. His Mercury is in Aquarius. So they think completely, they speak two different languages. This is an intellectual thing. And I think she needs to have some opposition and some challenge, but she might take that as, he doesn't love me anymore if he does challenge her. She might see that as, it might be offensive to her, and she might turn away, or she might reject him, or she might, this is self-sabotage. Like Saturn in the 7th house, difficulty around relationships, and then the ruler of the 7th house on the ascendant, that's not easy. It's almost like the guys that she's dated in the past have probably been with her because she's pretty. A lot of it has to do with how she looks, and she's already insecure about that alone. And then on top of that, she self-sabotages. I don't think she knows how to trust people. Saturn in the 6th house is someone that doesn't know how to, or someone with Saturn in the 7th house, they have to learn how to trust people. Whether or not this relationship works out, hopefully he teaches her how to trust people or trust the right people. But I don't know. I feel like if this romance doesn't go the distance, it might be because she does something out of insecurity. And her north node has Uranus and Neptune, has Mars. So he takes her to where she's got to be. She's going to learn something from him. Oh my God, it keeps blinking. Hope this doesn't turn up in the video. It keeps on like going in and out. So his Mars and Neptune and Uranus and Saturn sit on her north node of destiny. He's going to teach her something. He's going to take her somewhere. It is in the 6th house of everyday work, and so he might help her in regulating her schedule or just giving structure to her life. But these are still unstable planets, and they're both famous people, both artistic people. So we'll see. But she feels like she can go somewhere with him. Okay, this has gone black. This is so annoying. Why has it gone black? I don't know. I don't know what's happening, guys. Let me pause it. Okay. It went black. I'm not touching this anymore because it's annoying me. His north node, look at his north node in Pisces. Actually, his north node in Pisces is in a conjunction with his sun. So he's got to learn how to be the main character. Her Jupiter anchors his south node down. So she feels very familiar to him, but where he's going he's not necessarily taking her with him. I think she feels a bit more invested in this relationship at the moment. We'll see how this plays out. I can definitely see a connection here. I can see a familiarity. I see some intimacy, but it's this Leo stellium with Venus, Chiron, and Mercury. It's not aspecting anything. It's not aspecting anything good. The insecure. She's got to watch this insecurity. I'm hoping this makes the distance. I know it's been a while since she's like properly dated someone, and she's just finished her Saturn return. The dust is still settling on that. She's on ground zero right now. She's trying to set up a new foundation. I think she wants to get married. She probably wants to have some babies. Like, she's of that age. But yeah, she has some insecurities, and the insecurities are the thing that's the thing that could ruin everything, But I think she sees long game in him. I think he at the moment sees long game, like she is end game for him at the moment. But I'm looking at this and I don't see she doesn't have any placements, like personal placements positively aspecting his north node of destiny with his sun. There's nothing there. Nothing. No planet. Not even her sun. She's a Cancer sun, but it's such a late degree. It doesn't aspect his Pisces sun. So it's like, anyway, yeah, guys. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this. So you guys voted for this on my Instagram. So if you guys follow me on YouTube, please follow me on Instagram as well, because I always do like Q&As and little polls. The people voted for the Taylor Swift reading that I've just put out, and they voted for this one. So yeah, if you'd like to talk to me on there, I'm always on there talking to people. So come join in. Okay. Thank you so much. If you'd like a 60-minute reading or a 20-minute recorded reading, just down below, click that, and I'll see you on the other side. Bye.